Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. In our previous video, we have seen some differences between the Java and other programming languages. And in this session, we are going to see few more differences between Java and other programming languages. Now let's see. Yes, these are the differences we are going to see today. Observe. First, we are going to see whether Java supports multiple inheritance or not, and whether Java supports operator overloading or not, and whether the memory location is fixed or the variable one. We are going to check all these things. Now let's see one by one. Now let's go for the multiple inheritance. Now let me give you the definition of inheritance first. And as we progress further, we will discuss in detail what are the OOPS concepts and what is the relationship that is inheritance, right? Now let me give a glance about it first. This is the inheritance. Acquiring the properties and methods from one class to another class is known as inheritance, which means, for example, there is a class over here. This is a parent class, for example, and this is a child class over here. If you want to get the properties and methods from another class like parent, it just inherit that class. That's it. In order to inherit it, we are going to use the extends keyword in Java. Now see, the child class is inheriting the parent class, right? So what are the methods and variables which are non-private that will be accessible with the child class reference also? Okay. Now let's see what are the major advantage of using the inheritance. The major advantage of using the inheritance is the code reusability, which means you no need to define the entire code. Okay, what are the code available with the parent, you can take it in the child class and you can reuse it. So that's why we are getting a advantage of code reusability. Okay, now see here, multiple inheritance is not supported by Java. And why? Because it leads to the ambiguity, which means it creates confusion. Okay, now let me tell you a scenario where it could lead to a confusion. Okay, first let me tell you what multiple inheritance is. Multiple inheritance means a class derives the properties or the methods from multiple classes, which means there's a first parent over here, there's a second parent over here, and the child would be here, right? For example, this is the parent one, this is my first parent class, and this is my second parent class, and this would be my child, right? What is happening means the child will derive the properties and methods from both the parents. Okay, which means what? Multiple parents and a single child. The child will get the properties from multiple parents. So in this scenario, this is multiple inheritance. In this scenario, it could lead to the ambiguity. Okay, that's why Java won't support it. Now let's see what is the scenario now. See, let me take a class having the variable x and a method called m. Okay, now for example, the second parent, okay, class A is the first parent. Similarly, class B is the second parent available, having the same variable x and method also same name m. Now child C is there, which is deriving its properties and methods from multiple parents A and B. Now, if the child want to access the variable x, if the child want to access the method m, it could lead to ambiguity, right? Whether it belongs to the class A or whether it belongs to class B. There's ambiguity, right? The class C don't know, right? The class C is a confusion state where it doesn't know, oh, from this I need to get or from the class B I need to get. So it leads to ambiguity. That's why the Java won't support the multiple inheritance. Okay. Now let's go for the next concept. And you need to note a point that the Python will support the multiple inheritance. Okay, both are object-oriented languages, but Python has given an extended support for multiple inheritance also. Okay, now see this, the operator overloading. Let's see the definition of the operator overloading. If we declare an operator, okay, with more than one purpose, means what? An operator going to act with multiple purposes. For example, if you take a plus operator, it is going to do both arithmetic addition and for the string concatenation. Like these various purposes it can able to do, right? So if we can able to use a single operator for multiple purposes, then that operator is said to be a overloaded operator, and this entire process is known as operator overloading. Okay, now let's see this over here. We may think that Java may support the operator overloading, but it's not true. Java won't support the operator overloading, but it gives the support for some implicitly overloaded operators. Okay, now see here int x equal to 10, int y equal to 10, z equal to x plus y. So both are integers, right? So this is an arithmetic addition. X plus y would be an arithmetic addition. So the result would be 30, right? It would be 30. Now let's see another one, the similar thing. Yes, observe here. String x equal to high string y equal to abc, same x plus y. Now what is happening means both are strings, right? This plus operator now do concatenation, means adding one string to the another. Now the result would be high abc. This will be concatenated. Now here the result is what? The plus is acting as an arithmetic operator. Here the plus is acting as concatenation operator. You may think that by seeing this example, you may think that the Java will support the operator overloading, right? But it's not true, guys. Operator overloading will not be supported at user level. Means user can't define the purpose of an operator, but the Java gives the support for implicitly overloaded operators. Okay, let's see this. Observe the node point. Some operators are implicitly overloaded, and user defined operator overloading is not at all possible in Java. Okay, and see why? Because the reason is, if you are having an operator, for example plus, if you are going to use this plus operator for 100 times, means for 100 purposes like this, so on many multiple purposes, so it would be difficult for the developer, right? When to use which operator and what is the purpose of it, how it is going to act in that scenario, different scenarios, right? So it is going to be very difficult for the user or the developer. So that's why we are not going to provide, Java is not going to provide the support for operator overloading. Okay, now let's see the next one. Fixed memory allocation, right? Java will support the fixed memory allocation, which means what? Now observe here, Java is said to be an architecture neutral language, which means for the primitive data types, the memory allocation, the size will be fixed. Okay, but when compared to C and C++, the memory allocation would be variable. Okay, in C and C++, the memory allocation would be based on OS and compiler. It variable, right? It varies from platform to platform. Whereas in Java, it is not varies from platform to platform. It is fixed. That's why we can call it as a Java is a portable and architecture neutral language. Okay, now see here. Yeah, you can see over here, right? The primitive data types and the sizes over here. See the byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, and boolean. These are all the primitive data types that are supported by Java. Now observe here, in our next sessions, right? In our upcoming sessions, we are going to discuss in detail about what is a data type and what are its ranges and the literals also. We will discuss in detail. Now just for this difference only, just understand the byte will take 1 byte of memory, 2 bytes of memory short, int will take 4 bytes of memory. Like this, the memory allocation would be fixed irrespective of any platform you're going to use. Okay, any compiler or any OS you're going to take, any platform you will take, this memory allocation would be fixed, and this makes the Java as a portable and the platform independent and architecture neutral language. Okay, now you may get a doubt, right? See, this was a very important interview point of question. See, character takes 2 bytes of memory, right? Here the major question is, in C and C++, the character data type is taking 1 byte of memory, but in Java, why it is taking 2 bytes of memory? What is the difference in it, right? You need to note a point that in C and C++, to represent a character, we are going to use the ASCII standards, okay? Which means generally which will contain a very few number of characters like alphabets, digits, lowercase, uppercase alphabets, special symbols like this, okay? Now here we are going to use a Unicode representation in Java. Okay, this is called it as Unicode representation. We are not going to follow the ASCII representation in Java. We are going to follow the Unicode representation in Java, which means what? It supports multiple languages. Means whatever the international languages available over here, right? The Telugu, Hindi, English, Urdu, Kannada, or anything, a multiple language characters, right? And those are all will be available, right? You can give all those characters, and those will be given a character a code that is called it as a Unicode. Okay, so that's why it is going to take 2 bytes of memory, but ASCII is going to take only 1 byte of memory. Okay, you need to know the difference between ASCII and Unicode representation. ASCII takes only 1 byte of memory, whereas Unicode takes 2 bytes of memory. Okay, and this is all about the differences among the Java and other different other languages. Okay. Yes. In our upcoming sessions, we will come up with new topics. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe to our channel.